Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Beltran, and this video that you're going to be watching is my National University ITL 670 Social and Emotional Learning Week 1 video. Now, I want to start off the video by explaining what is SEL. Some of us may have heard this acronym before, and we know that it stands for Social and Emotional Learning. And I'm going to talk about why social and emotional learning is so important for our students, for teachers to implement in the classroom, how it can be effective for grading our students, for having our students learn, and how will SEL in the classroom help our students both now and long term as adults and as future students in higher education. Now, first and foremost, I'd like to introduce a textbook that is called Handbook of Social and Emotional Learning, Research and Practice. And it's by Celine E. Domitrovic. And in this textbook here for our ITL 670, I want to read the definition of what is SEL. And it states, CASEL aspires to establish a unifying preschool through high school framework based on a coordinated set of evidence-based practices for enhancing the social, emotional, cognitive development and academic performance of all students. And to be more precise, SEL involves fostering social and emotional competencies through explicit instruction and through student-centered learning. Approaches that help students engage in the learning process and develop analytical, communication, and collaborative skills. So now that we know the textbook definition from the Social and Emotional Learning Handbook, I want to discuss why it is important that we implement SEL in the classroom. Well, as we know, in the 21st century, there are many problems going on in the world. And as such, our students are at home and they are subject to the news and all the adults in their lives, their opinions of the events around them. And all of these events that are going on in the world, all of these problems the students have in their families, all the personal problems that these students have with their friends and their sports and not being able to go to school and having to learn online, all of that's so much for our students. Now, socially and emotionally, it could stump them. So it's very important that we incorporate social and emotional learning in the classroom, whether it be in the classroom physically or online on our Zoom or Google Classroom meetings right now. And the reason is it will help our students talk about their feelings. It will get past that stigma that male students or males in general should not talk about their feelings. You shouldn't cry. No one wants to know. Keep it to yourself. Work through your own problems. Not at all. Both male and female students have the rights to express themselves. And as effective teachers, we can incorporate discourse with our students that will get our students to talk about their feelings, how they feel. And we can make it so subtle as, what are your thoughts and feelings about this subject that we're learning in school? And we can get them to express themselves more freely. So SEL helps our students with what they bring into the classroom from their outside life to evaluate and share their thoughts and feelings and ideas about what's being taught in school. And if they aren't learning, maybe we might learn something from the discourse that we engage our students with. So SEL just makes for a better teacher-student relationship. And as such, when we have our parent-teacher conferences, we can connect even more so with the parents and share the feelings of the students and really find key strategies and ways to implement them to help the student. And as teachers, how to help the student and to keep the parent involved also, because social and emotional learning works for all aspects of life, teacher-student and teacher-parent relationships. Now, how does SEL instruction improve academics? Well, I want to share from the Handbook of Social and Emotional Learning in chapter 22, stating using formative assessment with SEL skills. It goes on to state in summary that formative assessments have been studied and researched for the past 20 years, and they are extremely effective tools. Now, how can we incorporate an extremely effective tool such as formative assessments with the success of SEL skills? Well, if we are to come up with discussions or pop quizzes and the students have to express themselves or write down, we have to get them engaged somehow previously to just say, all right, here's your test, do your test. They have to learn. So we have to engage our students with probing discussions, not just talk, but dig through, excavate, be hands-on in the learning. What is going on? Why is this happening? Get into the core of it. And as we do so, we'll help our students, we'll help ourselves as teachers create student-generated assessments. Well, in my discussion with my students, they mentioned this, this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, well, I'm going to take that information that my students freely gave me in our discourse, and I'm going to use that to create an effective formative assessment that my students will be engaged in. And as such, if we're making tests, lesson plans, and activities that are tailored to our students, and our students are interactive in the discourse previous to the assessments with us, they're going to be engaged, they're going to know the topic. We as educators know that they know the topic, and we want to reinforce that with an assessment that is accurate to what we as teachers are implementing to our students. Not just giving them a test because, oh, well, I have to grade them on something, let me just throw this test last minute. No, we're going to be effective teachers. Social and emotional learning has effective skills and tools to do that, and our students will improve academically. Now, social and emotionally, well, how can we help our students to improve that way with incorporating SEL? Well, no doubt, by the very fact that SEL is social and emotional learning, we're going to help our students and ourselves as teachers learn socially and emotionally ways to learn, ways to interact with other people, our peers of our own age and those of ages that are higher than us, such as for students, it could be their parent, it could be their teacher, it could be the principal, it could be their older family members. Now, as social and emotional learning helps all people to improve socially, it does so by fostering discussion, getting out of your comfort zone and knowing that all of us have thoughts, opinions, and ideas, and it's important to share them and to be understood and be heard. Not to force your opinion or what you think on others, but to show that everyone has an opinion and everyone is justifiable in explaining themselves and feeling the way they do. There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. It's how you act on those feelings that matters. And as teachers, using SEL and incorporating it properly will help our students, some that might have anger issues, or they might be introverts and they might keep to themselves. There's nothing wrong with that in itself, but when we're engaging in learning, everyone has to participate, and they have to do so in a safe and comfortable environment. And that is exactly what proper SEL implementation from the teacher to the students can accomplish. Now, in line with that, behavioral outcomes. What will be the results? Well, no doubt our students who are having issues social and emotionally, they'll be able to work on those. They'll be able to improve academically. And it only goes to follow that they will be more well behaved because they're able to share their thoughts and opinions. If they're not correct, they're able to be molded and taught in a way where it's, no, you're wrong, that's wrong, this is how you do it. No. Well, student, please explain that to me. Okay, I see what you mean. Now, I want to explain it this way. Now, and as we instruct them, then they'll be able to form new ideas and thoughts and be like, oh, okay, so maybe I wasn't completely right, but let me just rearrange this. Okay, I have a thorough understanding now. Instead of, I don't understand this. This is too hard. I give up. No, go to the office. You're disrupting the class. We get our students out of that bad environment and bad teacher practices, and we make for a more wholesome 7 hours in the classroom for our students. So we take their thoughts and opinions and we help them, and by incorporating SEL skills, and by doing that behaviorally, our students just do much more better academically, socially, and emotionally, explaining themselves, as well as behaviorally. We cut down on a lot of the behavioral issues that had existed prior to incorporating SEL. Now, one thing that I want to include, a separate source apart from the textbook Social and Emotional Learning, is a great resource online, and that's edutopia.org, edutopia.org, and it includes 5 keys to successful SEL. The first one is self-awareness. Our students are aware of their emotions. They know it's not taboo to discuss their emotions. They're freely allowed to do so and encouraged to do so. The second one is self-management. Our students can manage their behaviors, and they can improve on how they were previously doing. Social awareness. Our students are aware of others' feelings. They're able to empathize with others. Very important skill. Relationship skills. Our students are able to no longer work by themselves, but engage with others, engage with their classmates, and make friendships, make groups with students that they might not have otherwise engaged with. And responsible decision making. Should I do this or should I do that? What are the consequences? All of those that we just discussed with this second resource on edutopia.org, it lists ways that we can have our students both improve academically, improve social and emotionally, and third, improve behavioral wise. Very, very important. Now, this handbook here, it's a really good resource, whether you're going to be a teacher or you just want to know how to help your student, help your own child. Social and emotional learning is a very important skill and concept, really great ideas that we need to learn and master, and in doing so we can help our students. We can help future teachers. We can improve our own selves. If we're not able to share our feelings, just for me, myself, I'm not able to do that so freely, but with the skills that I'm implementing to my students, it only is a natural succession that if my students are learning this because I'm teaching it to them, that I myself am being molded and being able to incorporate SEL in my own life as well. So social and emotional learning, it really helps us as individuals, the individual learner who's learning about it. It helps those who are taught by using SEL, the students, and it also helps the whole school administration system. It creates for a better learning environment, a better teaching environment for students, and a better working environment for everyone involved. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I hope you learned something. Any thoughts or ideas that you have about SEL, please feel free to comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you. Take care now.